Hello, and welcome to Between Thoughts and Being Reflections on Being Human. I'm Dr. Jaspreet Soor, retired physician, transitions guide, Reiki practitioner, and storyteller, exploring what it means to live with awareness, intention, and humanity in a complex world. This podcast is a space to slow down together, a space for reflection rather than instruction. Here, we explore the human experience through stories, neuroscience, and gentle inquiry, not to arrive at quick answers, but to leave with better questions. So, wherever you are, take a breath, settle in, and let's begin. Today's episode is titled, Maybe I Just Don't Want to Be Happy. Reflections on joy, protection, and learning to feel again. Recently, I heard myself say something that surprised me. I was out walking, reflecting on my life, noticing that objectively good things were happening. Opportunities were emerging. Doors were opening. By all accounts, this should have been a season of excitement. And yet, I noticed something unsettling. I wasn't excited. The joy I expected to feel simply wasn't there. And then, almost without warning, the sentence arrived. Maybe I just don't want to be happy. The words felt harsh, almost uncomfortable to admit out loud. But beneath their sharpness was clarity. Not because I truly didn't want happiness, but because the sentence revealed a deeper pattern I had been circling for years without fully naming. From a neuroscience perspective, this response makes sense. The nervous system is predictive. It uses past experiences to determine what feels safe. If moments of excitement were historically followed by disappointment, loss, or difficulty, the brain learns an association. Excitement equals risk. And when something positive happens again, the brain does not automatically celebrate, it protects. It lowers the emotional volume. Not because joy is undeserved, but because the nervous system is trying to prevent future pain. Over time, this can look like good news arriving and a muted response following. Instead of celebration, there is quiet vigilance, a subtle waiting for something to go wrong. The body holds experiences differently than the mind. Moments when joy was interrupted, times when openness met resistance, instances where excitement led to hurt. These are stored not only as memories, but as sensations within the nervous system. Sometimes what we call hesitation is simply the body saying, "We have held a lot before. Let's open slowly this time." So, instead of jumping fully into joy, the response becomes measured, guarded. Not because joy is unwanted, but because the body is protecting itself. There is another layer to this. Many spiritual teachings emphasize calmness or detachment. But true peace is not numbness, it's aliveness. Somewhere along the way, many of us begin to associate seriousness with depth or suffering with growth. But authentic growth does not require abandoning joy. If joy feels distant, it may not mean we are evolving beyond emotion. It may mean we have learned to quiet our response to life. There is also a more intangible layer, one people describe in different ways, as generational stories, as inherited emotional patterns. The sense of carrying experiences larger than a single lifetime. Whatever language we use, these layers influence how freely we allow ourselves to feel. But awareness changes something important. It introduces choice. Recognizing a pattern is not limitation, it's the beginning of freedom. The realization that emerged for me was simple. Maybe we don't resist happiness. Maybe we simply forget how to allow it. And that realization felt surprisingly light. Because if dulling joy is learned, it can also be unlearned. It begins gently, allowing excitement without bracing for loss, letting joy exist without demanding justification, returning to the present moment as an experience, not an idea. If tomorrow brings challenge, we will meet it then. But today is allowed to be lived fully. So, I leave you with a question today. Have there been moments when life offered joy and something inside you stayed quiet instead? And what if that quietness is not resistance, but protection? What might change if you approach joy with patience instead of pressure? Perhaps happiness is not something we need to chase. Perhaps it is something we relearn to receive. One honest moment, one sentence spoken aloud, can begin shifting patterns that have existed for years. And slowly, gently, aliveness returns. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If something in this reflection resonated, I invite you to carry the question with you, gently and without urgency. You can explore more reflections and my work at my website, drsoor.com. Until next time, this is Between Thoughts and Being, a reminder to live with awareness, to meet yourself with compassion, and to find meaning not only in what you think, but in how you are. Take care.